Hello, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to create a star lantern using wet strength tissue paper. I would like to revisit creating a lantern like this, and today's one's going to be a star as opposed to this boring drum-like shape. So we're going to need some balsa sticks, and you can get them from a craft shop. Masking tape, as you can see in that little image, I had actually ripped them into strips already. To begin with, I'm going to create 5 split joints. So essentially, I'm just putting 2 of the balsa sticks together and using a piece of masking tape to join them to make a kind of triangular shape. The next step is to take a glue gun and to just tack the 5 split joins that you've created and put those together to create a star. So we're creating a 5-pointed star. It doesn't matter if it's a bit wonky. In fact, sometimes I think that it's better if it's wonky. You're going to use loads and loads of masking tape, so don't panic too much about that. I find that the normal width of the masking tape is maybe a little bit too much, so I'm splitting that down the middle. What was quite cute was I used another star to create support for the biggest star. So as you can see there, I'm just making sure all of these joins are really, really good. And then I'm creating an upward support, which I'm then going to attach another star that I've made in exactly the same way to the thing. And here you can see we've created a 3-dimensional skeleton of a star. Next, we want to take our Cyanotype solutions, part A and part B. So we're going to use some of this beautiful wet strength tissue paper. And this is fantastic because it's very lightweight, but it stands up fantastically to the wet process. We'll add part A, part B, and make sure they're nicely mixed together before you apply them to your wet strength tissue paper. Now, this stuff is extremely porous, so it does actually use quite a lot of cyanotype solution. Don't panic about that. That's just the way it is, and it creates some really, really beautiful prints because it is so porous. It's like a rich blue all the way through. So this is my setup for one of my prints. It's just a load of live flowers that I've collected from the garden. And rather than using the box setup, because the wet strength tissue paper is a lot larger than the box that I usually use, I've used the very clever, I'm going to balance a light upon a garden cane and across 2 chairs. I then left the lamp to expose for around half an hour. And I came back and had a little look and thought, that's good enough for me. Now is to take it outside and to give it a wash. Again, because it's such a big piece of paper, I didn't really have a big enough tray to wash it in. So instead I thought I'll just pop it onto the floor and use a watering can to wash away the excess cyanotype solution. So you can see after I've washed it a few times using the watering can technique, it's very translucent. Now, you might think that this is underexposed, but of course, as it dries, it's going to darken down. So for me, that was nice enough. And I also wanted quite a bit of light to pass through the blue as well. This is how I'm creating my paper mache mix. It was just some hot water with some PVA glue and mixed until everything was an even consistency. I've then used PVA glue on its own just to get things started. So I've covered over parts of the skeleton underneath with normal full strength PVA, and that's just to give us a little bit of structure to get the rest of the paper mache on the go. So each time I've carefully glued to the skeleton using PVA, ran it all the way around, and then I'm actually using the PVA paper mache solution to paint on top. And I just thought I would do it that way because then I could make sure that it was all attached really well on each section before I stretched it into position. For this lantern, I wanted to have the outside edge white and to have each face with the cyanotype on it. So once again, just using normal strength PVA to neaten up all of those edges, bending them down, making sure everything's nice and secure. And once that's done, I'm then ready to apply the face. And this was the print that you just saw moments ago that I said you might think was underexposed. After a day's worth of drying, it's gone down to this lovely dark blue colour. It can sometimes be a little bit hard for you to figure out exactly what that exposure time is. And there we go. That's just the first face added with the paper mache, and then that essentially stretches the paper into position. So you end up with this like nice taut drum kind of scenario. I then just put a simple USB desk lamp behind it, and that was as far as I wanted to go with this one. It's really pretty, and it now lives in my niece's bedroom. If I was going to take it out and about in a parade, then I would probably do both sides of the face, and I still had enough printed paper in order to do that. I just decided on this occasion to allow it to let more light out, as it was actually going to be used as a bedroom lamp rather than being used as a parade lantern. Thank you. Please subscribe and like and leave a comment if you want. I'll always get back to you. All right, take care. Bye.
Please hang up and try again.